Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a Wip Chat, and I know that I typically put up my Wip Chats, or at least I try to, on Thursdays, but I have given myself grace and I know that you all will too. So today is Thursday, but it is actually currently almost about 3 p.m. I worked an overnight last night, and if you watched my clog that I put up on Wednesday of me heading to work on Tuesday, then you kind of already know the situation and the story, but if not, basically we had a coworker have a death in the family, and it was the one that works overnight, so I was the easiest person to sort of move around because everyone else has kids or visitors, and my son is off for spring break and he is with my in-laws, so it was just easiest to have him or have me go and do the overnights. Not gonna say it didn't suck, especially since I wanted to do either all of them or none of them rather than work overnight, day shift, overnight. You know, I just didn't want to do that. And then, you know, I already worked on Sunday night overnight, and I spent all day on Monday recovering, and then on Tuesday I got the phone call about it, and then I went back into bed. I finally got up at 10 a.m., went back into bed by 1 so that I could start preparing for the overnight. Worked the overnight on Tuesday. Spent most of Wednesday, yesterday, in bed. I did get out for a little bit, and I felt pretty good. I did 2 loads of laundry, but then I had to get right back into bed because I had to do another overnight. So, yeah, that's not fun. And then today, the day that I'm filming this, is Thursday, so I am sort of relearning how to human again because I have a work shift tomorrow, Friday, at 6:30 a.m., which is exactly what I didn't want. I did not want to do night shift, day shift, night shift, because I have a night shift on Saturday. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm trying not to be bitter. But alas, I am me, and that is all I can be. So, with all that sort of out of the way, I can go ahead and talk about what I'm doing. I am working on Borealis from Diamond Dotz at Home. If you did not know, I am a Diamond Dotz at Home distributor. You can use the link in my description box, and you will purchase a kit for 25% off, because there is always a coupon code at the top, and then of course I will make a small commission, so it is a win-win situation for both of us. However, it is never required. So and I am using my pens from, I've got this one from Enabler's Outpost and this one from Enabler's Outpost, and I've got my Bella Art de Nicole trays. I've got a little red one, Caribbean, and then the rose gold. I'm not kidding this painting app. So if you watch my last Wip Chat, you know that I've sort of started to just put them in bags, because this painting is primarily like pretty much ombre, so I only really have to worry about one color at a time. I mean, there's some like sprinkled in there, but you already know we're gonna change that up. We're not gonna use the colors provided. I'm gonna put sparklers in there because you know I gotta be bougie. There you go, Bev. There's your obligatory bougie for the day. So, you okay? Is some sneezing? He is a handsome boy. Yes, he is. Okay, so, yeah, I'm just sort of kidding it up as I go along because, like I said, it is ombre, fading into the next color. So, it's kind of been fun to sort of, like, because the very first painting I ever did was, like, an ombre sort of scene, so it's really nice to do that again. And I'm working top to bottom upside down because this whole bottom part is not drilled, so this is a partial. Now that the informatics is done, and the reason that my Wip Chat is late is done, we can go ahead and get into it. So let's talk. I know that it's super popular right now to sort of go and try and find out when you were born so that you can look to the stars to discover who you are, and like look for the birth charts and stuff like that. But like, can we talk for a second? Like, please don't call a hospital at 11 or 12 at night or 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. Do not call a hospital at 2 a.m. to ask the hospital when you were born. Okay? Thank you. Just don't do it. Like, I don't comprehend why. First of all, there's a couple things wrong with it. First of all, sir or ma'am, what drugs are you on that you need to find out when you were born exactly so that you can discover who you are? Like, what drugs are you on that you're doing this and thinking it's, like, you know, socially acceptable to call a hospital at 2 a.m. to try to figure out what time you were born? First of all, medical records is closed and will remain closed until regular business hours. Okay? So, please don't. And second, like, look, I get it. I get wanting to know, but, you know, pick a different time, okay? Just, you know, I don't care for astrology one way or another. I'm sort of just like when I read stuff about Aquarius peoples, Aquarius, as I like to call them, when I do read about them and like how they're supposed to be and stuff like that, I do find myself being like, oh yeah, that's me. But also at the same time, I'm not really interested to sort of like use that as a way to fill in the blanks with who I am. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, I understand, but for me, I would rather figure it out as I go along. And like, if you haven't figured it out like at, you know, 30 or whatever, who you are and stuff like that, I understand. And like, I haven't figured out exactly who I am, but I'm also not going to call a hospital at 2 a.m. to figure out what time I was born so that that will give me more insight into who I am. Like, that's just not, that's not the vibe, you know? Anyways. Also, in that same respect, please do not call a hospital at, you know, ungodly hours to ask about a bill. Billing is closed, okay? Billing is closed. Come on. Like, do you people not, like, I had one phone call. It was this lady from Hawaii, and she was asking about billing, but she genuinely didn't know that, you know, what time it was, because they're 5 hours behind. So when she called at 11 at night, she was thinking it was, you know, well, I guess, I mean, she could have done the math and figured it out, but she's 5 hours behind. So when it's 11 for us, it's like 6 for her or 5 for her, something like that. I can't remember. I didn't really read that much into it, but that was a thing that happened. And like, time stuff is hard. Like, I get it. I struggle even like converting time for like making sure that I'm at my friends' lives and stuff like that. And you know, if you didn't know, Miss Grace is gonna go live. I'm so excited. She's going live. Correct me if I'm wrong, Grace. Tonight, 7:30 tonight, I think. Is that right? Hold on. Let me look at our messages so that I can accurately tell you. Let's see. Hold on. Okay. 7 p.m. for me on Friday. So 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's 10 a.m. her time. I think it's 8 for me. I think it's 8 because if it's 10 p.m. her time, it's a whole 12-hour difference. So if it's like it's basically the opposite time always for us. So if she's daytime, I'm nighttime. So, but it's 12 hours plus 2, so it's 14-hour difference. So I believe that puts it at 8 p.m. for me. Grace, correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments down below. Or message me and I will correct it, and I will put a post up letting people know what's up. And then of course, the day that I'm filming this, it's tonight, or no, the day that I'm filming this is tomorrow. The day it's going up, it's tonight. And then of course, the day that I'm filming this tonight, I have a wonderful live with Jenny. I don't know how much I'm gonna make it through. And then of course, since my sleep schedule has been so messed up, I don't wanna, you know, if I do show up, it'll be briefly, you know? And then, of course, another wonderful live to look forward to. We've got, hold on, let me pull up our messages, make sure it's accurate once again. 7:30 EST on Tuesdays. We have Bev B. So it's 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can join Bev B for a live. I'm super excited about that one as well. all my friends are getting lives and stuff. I'm really excited. That sounds so bad. My friends are finally getting lives. But they're finally getting live time slots, so I'm really excited. Just more time to spend with the people that I love. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And then that's my plan for Friday night. And then as far as tonight, I woke up at, because I worked the overnight tonight. Not sure if I made that clear. Did I make it clear that I worked the overnight? Because I did. It sucked. I didn't finish a book. Like on Sunday overnight, I finished a book. On Tuesday overnight, I got distracted and I didn't read much at all. I was sort of like I wasn't expecting to have to do it, so it was a little difficult. And then last night I got 70 pages away from finishing a book, but I did not in fact finish it, so that sucked a little bit. But I got distracted and that's what happened. And then if you didn't know, I can no longer bring my diamond paintings to work. This is a choice that I'm making. No one's told me to do that, but the senior executives are in and out of the office all the time lately because of what happened recently, and rather than get told to put it up, I'd rather just put it up. My boss hasn't said anything to me, but I'm just gonna do it rather than not do it and like suffer later. So I have obviously, consequently, been reading more and diamond painting less, because if you didn't know, diamond painting at work, work was where I got most of my diamond painting done, because when I'm home, I simply don't really have time. However, I am super excited because I know that I can't really diamond paint at 10:30 or 10 at night when Jenny goes live, because I'm usually trying to fall asleep or getting ready to go to bed, so it's not like I can be diamond painting. But with Grace and Bev, I'll have the time. I'll be able to sit down and diamond paint for the hour that they are live, so that I can actually do some diamond painting at home. Consequently, because of all that, I haven't made much progress on this diamond painting, and like I said in my last Wip Chat, I did sort of abandon Chuck. Now that doesn't mean I'm going to give up on him forever. It just means that right then the Chuck was not what I needed, and I would rather work on something that brings me joy than you know, struggle through something, because I made no progress on that. And like anytime I had to sit down and film for it, I would find any reason to not be working on the Chuck. Like when I did Murderous Mondays with Jenny, we were talking about, you know, good girls and stuff like that, and she'd be coloring and I should have been diamond painting, but I wasn't. I was finding any excuse to, oh my goodness, the broom scared me. Oh God, I need help. I was finding any reason to be on my phone, any reason to look something up. Like, sure, no problem, I can look that up. No, absolutely. And then like I started like online shopping one week because I was so bored with my diamond painting. Like I started looking at other diamond paintings while we were live. Oh, I think that was last week. I don't think that was on purpose. I think that I was looking at Craftably. Could be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, I just was struggling to get through, like struggling to even find the motivation to place drills on that one. And like this one has, you know, obviously I'm not, you know, my progress is sort of stunted by the fact that I can't diamond paint at work. So it's not like I have a whole heap of progress to show you. But I feel like, here's the thing. I have been preaching about giving myself grace for the entirety of this year and part of last year. And the only person that hasn't extended grace is myself. Like, y'all are in the comments talking about give yourself grace, you know, don't forget to be kind to yourself. And like I read a comment the other day that really resonated with me. I can't remember who sent it because I haven't gotten through to reply to all my comments yet, but I did read that comment and it really resonated with me. Excuse me, sorry, having a sip of my water. It said, if your friend was doing this, would you be acting like that towards your friend? Like basically, like if your friend was going through this and she was being hard on herself, what would you do? Would you know, continue to be hard on her with her? Or like if your friend messed up, would you be hard on her basically? And the answer is no. And I need to sort of remember that when it comes to myself, because, you know, like I said, the only person that hasn't extended me grace is myself. And so I had a really nice conversation with Grace the other day. Grace the person, not the idea, okay? And, you know, basically, my whole life I've always been 100 or nothing. And when Grace pointed out that I was able to do what was right for myself by putting that check up, she said that showed growth and trying to sort of like, you know, work towards giving myself grace. And I was like, wow, look at me go, you know? So I do want to touch on something. It feels like it's been forever since we talked, even though I just did a clog the other day, and I'm going to go live tonight or tomorrow night, and, you know, etc., etc. But it does feel like we've, you know, haven't spoken in forever. But the thing is, regarding imposter syndrome, I wanted to touch on that briefly. I did respond to all those comments already. If you didn't know, I'm still responding to everyone's comments, but I'm sort of I'm giving myself, sorry, I didn't mean to throw that at you. I'm giving myself grace in all aspects of my life. So if responding to comments gives me stress today, I'll do it tomorrow before the next video goes up. Or like what's been working for me a lot recently is the idea of sort of, you know, having a set time schedule to go through and comment back. Like, because before I would just do it all at night, the night after the video was posted, and then I would catch up on comments the next day. But I was spending so much time doing that because, and I think I briefly touched on it recently, but I didn't explain why. So I don't have Wi-Fi at home. I know I said that though. So what happens is that I typically respond to comments on my phone. That takes a lot longer for me to respond to comments on my phone than it does on my computer. But like I said, I don't have Wi-Fi at home, so I use Hotspot. So Hotspot is more of a, like it's connected to my phone, and then I go live from my phone, Hotspot internet thing. And anything that I have to do at home on my computer comes from my hotspot. And rather than waste my hotspot, because I do like to go live and I do like to hang out with you live and stuff, I sort of have been responding to comments at work instead. And responding to comments on my computer goes much faster because I'm able to type faster on my phone, yes, but there's a lot more typos on my phone than there is on the computer because the keys are farther apart than, you know, typing on your phone's keyboard, you know? So what's been working for me is, like, I basically upload my videos at work. So what happens is I film the video, edit it, and upload it. Or no, I film the video and edit it, and then I upload it at work, or sometimes I edit at work if I can. But rather than respond to comments at home, I'm gonna start responding to comments exclusively at work, so I have something that I'm doing while my video is uploading. So like, let's say, like, okay, so like tomorrow when I go to work and I am uploading this video, I will respond to comments that came in between this video and the last upload. This way I can keep going with productivity, so I'm not like sort of like at a standstill waiting for this video to upload. I can be, you know, being productive and making progress on something else, another task that needed to be completed anyway. So that is my plan going forward. So if you see that I haven't responded to your comment, I'm sorry, but I will get to it, I promise. I never want to get to the point where I'm not able to respond to comments, even if it takes me, like when I do that, when I wait till the, you know, a couple days has gone by, even if it takes me a few days, I still intend to do it. And this may not be the best in practice because I don't like the idea of responding to a comment 3 days after it's been sent, especially if it's like a pressing matter, like a question or something like that. But then again, I feel like if you guys had a serious question that you needed talked to right away, you could always send me a message on Instagram or my email. I have gotten pretty bad about checking my email lately. I used to check it every day, but my overnights have sort of screwed me up. So, but I'm always have my Instagram messages turned on. So if there's something that you need today, rather than comment it, like if it's a question, like obviously you can leave a comment, you know what I'm saying? Like this is kind of getting a little confusing. I'm confusing myself, to be honest. But what I'm trying to say is, like, if you have a question, if it's like like a real question that you need answered today, not, you know, 2 days from now or later tonight or next, you know, next time I upload at work, you can send me a message on Instagram, because I am probably more likely to respond day of message on Instagram than day of comment section, just because until I get Wi-Fi at home, which I'm not currently interested in doing, because it doesn't really make sense for me to sort of pay unlimited data, because we're currently grandfathered into that, so I'm not getting rid of that. It doesn't make sense for us to pay for unlimited data and then also Wi-Fi. It just doesn't make a lick of sense, so I'm not doing that. But when we move, and because we're in an apartment now, but when we move and we have our own place, and, you know, we might get Wi-Fi then, but for right now, it just doesn't make sense. And I mean, technically, because I work and I have Wi-Fi at work, it would make sense to do it, but we're grandfathered in with unlimited data. I don't want to get rid of it. You know what I mean? Because there are so many companies that are like, remember the commercial from a couple years ago where it was like, limited, you know what I mean? Oh, so you have unlimited data? And they'd be like, yeah, limited. And what's limited? It's limited, you know? Limited. So that's kind of what a lot of the companies now are doing, because Wi-Fi is so accessible and you can get Wi-Fi. But I guess they have like Wi-Fi caps now too, I found out. So that's crazy. So I'd much rather just keep my unlimited data and only use my hotspot when absolutely necessary at home, and then try and get most of the work done at work. That's sort of my best practice anyway, because it's easiest for me, for those reasons we discussed. Anyways, I really want to get back on Discord. I had just been so beside myself lately with life in general. If you didn't know, I am a part of a Discord group, and I really love those girls so much. But I just haven't been on lately. Overnights combined with, like, I've just had so much stress and anxiety lately. I'm finally starting to pull myself out of it a little bit, I think. And, you know, then I started to work overnights and stuff, so I sort of fell into the you know, struggle of I'm working the opposite schedule as everyone, and then it's really difficult. Like, okay, so if you're used to working overnights, a lot of times what happens is you're just like accustomed to it. Like, I found myself sort of getting used to it this week. Even though I only did how many ever I did, I started to get used to it. And so I feel like it's easier when you're used to it than it is if, like, you know, you're just starting to do it for the first time. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously that seems obvious, right? But for me, who is primarily, and like, I'm not saying I like daytime, okay, because I actually hate going outside during the day. The sun is not my friend. I don't like to sweat. I like AC, and my stupid, oh no, it was a bad drill. I am saving my trash so that I can show you how very little trash I have encountered in these Diamond Dotz kits. But yes, so I'm wondering if, what was I saying? I better stop that. Hold on, let me think for a second. Oh, what happens is, because I don't like the sun, even though I don't like the sun, when I am sort of the opposite schedule as my fiance, like, we're quite literally ships passing in the night. Like, literally ships passing in the night. Like, there's been a couple times this past week since I started doing these overnights where, like, on Sunday, I think we, like, he was leaving, he was actually taking out the trash as I was coming home, so we quite literally met, and then he went to work and I went to bed, right? And then on Tuesday when I worked the overnight, what happened was he came home, or he went to work, and we passed on the road. He had to leave earlier that day. And then this morning, I got home, and he was locking up the house as I was coming up. So and then he had to come back because he had forgotten something. So, like, he was locking up as I was pulling up. So he was walking to his car, and then I was walking out of my car. So we kind of missed that way, right? So, and then he had to come back. So we ended up, you know, saying good morning and good night to each other then. So it's really difficult when your significant other works the opposite schedule as you, because, I mean, like, that's, you know, it's just, it feels very much like the opposite of progress. You know what I mean? Because, you know, when you're in a relationship, and you've been in a relationship for as long as I have, we are going on 11 years this year, when you are dealing with that and sort of going through the motions of, you know, you're still, okay, so what happens is when you find love young, and you stay with that love, and you grow with that love, and you make a family with that love, and you have a home with that love, you, like, when I met, we were 16. So I'm not the same girl I was when I was 16. So, and he's not the same, you know, guy when, as when we met. That's sort of the thing about finding love young, is both of you have to be willing to, you know, while holding each other tightly, to weather the storm of life and weather the storm of growing up together. You also have to loosen your grip a little and allow that person to sort of become who they are, become who they're, like, growing into. Like, I'm not the same person I was when I was 16. I'm not the same person I was when I had my son, and I'm damn sure not the same person I was, you know, 2 years ago. Because, you know, we're, as when you get to the point where you're, say, in your 30s, I figure that, well, I mean, I don't know, I'm not in my 30s, but, like, when you get to the point when you're in your 30s, at least in my head, you're sort of that person that you're going to be for life. Like, you know, you have that phrase, oh, you know, she's whatever age, she's set in her ways. It's usually applied to somebody who's around 40 or 50 or 60, because they've lived the predominant portion of their life as that way, right? They're set in their ways, okay? The thing is that we're not into our ways yet. We're still figuring out our ways. So when you're sort of holding each other tight to weather the storm, like I said, you have to loosen your grip and allow that person to become who they are. And that's a never-ending process. Love is a never-ending process. It's sort of like laundry, in that once you catch up and you're like, okay, I've got this, you're still growing. That person is still growing. You're still becoming who you are. That person is still finding new things that excite them. You're still finding new things that excite you, and you're still changing, ever changing. And, like, even after 30, you're still changing. But, like, I feel like predominantly once you hit, like, maybe 30 isn't the right number. Maybe it's like about 40 or 50, maybe, I don't know. But my point is that love is like a never-ending thing that you never stop working at. It's exactly like laundry, okay? So, all this to say, you know, we're still sort of, you know, working on us, working on, you know, you should never stop working on what you have with someone. Never just allow it to exist, because the minute that you allow it to exist on its own without sort of working to understand that person, working to do better for that person so that you can have a healthier relationship. You know, some relationships are easy, but our relationship hasn't been, because we did fall in love so young, and we did have a baby so young, and we've been on our own so long, and for, you know, when we were so young. So our relationship has different storms that sort of rage and ebb and flow and stuff like that than a typical couple's. So right now, with us working opposite schedules and us quite literally being ships passing in the night, and then, like, of course, once he found out, like, we were supposed to, like, be together. Like, I was supposed to come home at, like, 5 o'clock. We were supposed to cook dinner. We were supposed to watch movies. We were supposed to be a couple again, because, you know, when my son's here, it's really difficult to have that time together. And because he is on spring break and he's not home, he's with my in-laws. And, you know, once my fiance found out that I was going to be working overnights, he started picking up side jobs so that he wouldn't be idle, basically. Like, that's the thing, is we're constantly talking about side hustles. Like, YouTube is sort of my side hustle. We're both playing with the stock market. That's a side topic though. I could do an entire Wip Chat dedicated to the stock market. But we're all sort of working on our side hustles. I have something that I have been in the works for a long, long time that I have yet to share here because I don't want to share it until it's done because, you know, then it just feels like talking. I like to move silently. A few of my friends know what it is, but I like to move silently so that, you know, when it's done, when I'm done, when it's done, it will be done. You know, and then I'll bring that to you. And, you know, with everything that's going on in my life, I don't want to put that pressure. Like, I don't want to say, hey guys, I'm doing, you know, and then not do it for like 2 to 3 months. Because my life is just so busy. So, but yeah, like I said, we're always talking about, you know, side hustles and what we can do to improve and stuff like that. And I don't know how I got off topic, but basically, because we're working opposite schedules, and this was supposed to be a week rather, where we sort of, you know, became a couple again, and he started working on side jobs, and that's how it got, side jobs, side hustles, yep. So he's been helping his friends do this, and he's been picking up this side job and that side job as to not sort of bother me when I'm trying to sleep before I go in for an overnight. So what happens is when I work an overnight, I typically sleep when I come home, and then I try to be up for the rest of the day. But when I work an overnight the next day, I've learned that what I need to do is sleep when I come home from the overnight, and then sleep again from like about like 2 or 3 to like 8. So I have 2 small naps instead of one big sleep, because that's just what's, you know, seems to be working better for me. However, I'm nervous about tonight because I have to put myself to sleep for a big sleep after, you know, sort of taking naps all week. But that's beside the point. But anyways, so yeah, we've just been ships passing in the night. Like, he comes home from work and I'm getting ready to get back into bed. He comes home from work and he heads out the door, and then I'm in bed, and then he doesn't come home until after I've left for work. So it's just been a lot lately. So that's why I feel like I'm sort of trying to pull myself out of a secondary depression after I just pulled myself out of one, because why am I messing with this 4-placer when I could be using a 7-placer? But yeah, so that's what's going on, and I'm okay, you know, I'm okay. I'm fine about it. I'm not happy, you know, with the change of, you know, schedule and stuff like that, but I'm fine. And of course, this couldn't have been prevented. And if there was ever a week for this to happen, it would have been this week, because I'm available to work weird shifts because my son isn't home. So it worked out. Plus, being part of a team is very important to me, because, you know, if I ever need something, I want, you know, the same courtesy extended, and I want it remembered, you know. Not like I want a pat on the back for picking up overnights. That's not what I'm trying to say. But, like, basically what I'm trying to get at is that the courtesy that I extended by picking up most of the overnight shifts, I want that to be remembered, so that if I ever have an emergency, I have that courtesy extended to me. I have the sort of grace to be able to, you know, if need be, take that time off. So that's why I like being part of a team, because, you know, we all can sort of benefit each other and sort of work together to get the job done, whether that's covering shifts or, you know, like just general work in the office. If we can all sort of get it done together, that's how I prefer to do it. So let's talk about what I have been up to since last week, aside from the overnights. I spent a little bit of time sort of working on, if you weren't here for last Wip Chat, we did a mental health check-in where I talked to people about my struggle with a little bit of imposter syndrome. So recap, imposter syndrome is basically, like, the best example I can give to make people understand is that I'm 26, but I genuinely don't feel like an adult half the time. Like, I have the adult stresses. Like, I gotta pay bills, y'all. Like, it's not like that. But, like, I don't have, you know, I don't feel like I'm still scared of teenagers. I'm still afraid that, you know, I still feel very much like a teenager. even though I have been on my own for so long and I have a child, and you know, I come home from work and I do mom things and adult things, it's still, I still feel sort of like an imposter. And then, you know, and I feel like an imposter when it comes to YouTube. Like, by nature, by definition, if you are creating content on YouTube, you are a YouTuber. But I struggle with imposter syndrome there. And so I want to update you on what I have. I've taken a week, sort of, not like that's like an extended amount of time or anything, but I did want to update it because I did bring it to your attention and I sort of discussed it in my last week Wip Chat. Let's talk about what I did to sort of work on my imposter syndrome. For one, I stopped looking at it like YouTube. I stopped looking at it like YouTube equals YouTuber. Content creator is what I'm after now. So I am a content creator. I changed what I'm calling it because that makes me feel a little less like an imposter. Even though I'm not an imposter, but that's the thing with imposter syndrome. You're not an imposter, but you feel like you are. So that's what I did this week to sort of fix it. I don't call myself a YouTuber or refer to myself as a YouTuber or talk about my friends as YouTubers. I call them content creators. We are all content creators. That is not a lie. It's like a half-truth because, you know, we're technically YouTubers, but content creator feels like a nicer term right now, so that's what I'm calling it. And then as far as adult, with my son not being here, I haven't really had adult responsibilities, so I can't really say what I've done to sort of fix how I was feeling as far as feeling like an imposter with that. Especially since, like, I haven't cooked meals. I haven't cooked since Friday, basically. That's the last time I cooked a meal. And, like, I know some of you were like, but you have to understand, I worked Saturday night, 2:30 to 10:30. I worked an overnight on Sunday. On Monday, I basically stayed in bed all day. On Tuesday, I ended up working an overnight. On Wednesday, I worked an overnight. And today is Thursday. And I have to go to work tomorrow at 6:30. So ideally, I could cook food. But in between all those weird shifts, I haven't gone to the store. So I haven't really cooked a meal. I haven't enjoyed a home-cooked meal in a very long time. So I can't say what I've worked on as far as that front when it comes to feeling like an imposter and not feeling like an adult, because I haven't, because of that. You know, I'm sort of scooting you over so that I can work on this area and feel comfortable doing it, not hanging off the table. So I'm filming in a different part of the table today. Usually I film here, like the camera is usually sitting here and I'm filming this way, but I didn't feel like it today. I just felt like doing this. So that's what I did. I'm also working on, like, I gave myself grace last week by filming my Wip Chat in bed, and I think that that was fun, and I might do that again if I need to. I've done that now twice. The first time because my living room was noisy and I didn't have time to film the Wip Chat before it got noisy. And this past time because I didn't want to get out of bed, and I feel like that's a good answer to that problem. Like, don't feel like getting out of bed, make it work, you know? I've sort of been spending a lot of time trying to make things work for me instead of working for things. And my camera's gonna shut down, so let me pause it. Yeah, so like I was saying, I've spent a lot of time lately sort of trying to get things to work for me rather than working for things to work. You know what I mean? Like, and it's been going well. Like, I filmed my Wip Chat in bed last week, like I said, and I'm not diamond painting at home, at work anymore, but I am making that work for me by reading. I am actively enjoying reading again after so very long. I have read, I think, like 11 books since like mid-February. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that's what happened. Maybe it was end of February. I don't know. Whenever I put out my first BookTube video, I guess I could look that up. Wouldn't that be nice if I had correct answers for you? Let's see. Where is my app? Where's my app? What is happening? I am struggling. That's what's happening as usual. Okay, so my videos 1 month ago it says. So my channel on BookTube launched on February 17th, and I believe February 17th was a Tuesday. I don't think I started reading until Wednesday. Might have even been Thursday. Basically, halfway through February, and I have already read like 11 books, I think. Let me count. Let me be sure. Let's see. 4 and 3 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, 11 books, and I'm in the middle of 2. So I'm really making progress on that front. Unfortunately, you know, that has sort of made me not doing as much diamond painting, but I expressed this feeling, my goodness, it's because I just woke up. I have like throat issues now. Well, I didn't just wake up, but it's the first time I'm talking all day, you know? Let me clear my throat with water. Maybe that's a good idea. Should I do that? Here, I feel better now. Okay, so I expressed this feeling to, I think it was Jenny, that I felt like my channel and my content on my channel was going to suffer because I had to make this rapid switch from diamond painting at work to not diamond painting at work. And I think it was Jenny that I expressed it to, and Jenny politely told me that that's not what your channel is. Your channel is not how much you can get done. Your channel is you. You are your channel, and what you bring to the table isn't what you finish, you know? So I think I summarized a little bit, but basically, long story short, she said that my content wasn't going to suffer because I wasn't completing as many things, and that I should give myself grace. Imagine that. Imagine me giving myself grace. Crazy, right? I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, that's kind of what's been happening. I've updated you on my mental health. Why don't you take the time to update me on yours? Have you taken any steps to work on what was bothering you last week? Let me know in the comments down below. And how are you? Of course I have to ask, how are you really? Not the front that you put on for everyone else, which is something that I really have. I am so, like, I mean, you know, it's not fake. I would just call it a skilled hider, a skilled, I'm really good at acting like I'm fine. If I need to. Sometimes I don't care to act like I'm fine. Sometimes I can't even be bothered. But like, I feel like I'm able to sort of put on a front, because, you know, you never want to click on somebody's video and go, oh my god, what a freaking bummer. Like, how depressing is this video? You know, you never want to click on a video and have that happen. So I try and do my best to be up when I'm with you and down on my own time. But I don't think I'm doing that anymore. I think I'm just gonna work on, instead of work on trying to sort of be up with you, and, you know, if I need to be down alone, what I'm gonna do is make steps and take the steps to get to be where I'm fine most of the time. Never gonna be a perfect situation, obviously, but I wanna get to the point where I'm fine most of the time. So that's my plan. So I think I'm going to finish up this DMC code here, this N, which is Diamond Dotz at Home 8100. And let's see, could I potentially finish 2? Do I have enough crap to say to finish 2? I don't feel like I have enough crap to say to finish 2. Well, we'll get there when I get there, right? So let's talk about what I have been reading. I read a couple books in February. I read about 4.5 books in February, and then I read 3 books in the first week and a half of February, or March. Jeez, what month am I in? What year am I in? Oh my goodness. And then I did read some more books in the second week of March, and now we are in the 3rd week, and I am still making progress. Let's see. I read 2.5, nearly 3 books in the first 2 weeks, and then another 4. So I'm at 7 for the month, but I'm also in the middle of 2. So I'm doing okay on that front. As far as diamond paintings go, I have a goal, obviously, to finish this one in the month of March. And if I do finish it, rather than pick Chuck back up, I think I'm gonna pick up the Beast again. I think that's what I want to do. So that is my plan there. I think Chuck is going to be indefinitely put away. And no one is more upset about that than me. But Grace. You know? Grace. Okay? Let's see. I am going through a phase where I'm trying to find out if I am even capable of continuing my BookTube channel. And I know that's kind of like a silly thing to say, but I can't talk about it on my BookTube channel because, you know, with my imposter syndrome heavy in the BookTube community, especially since I didn't, you know, read anything in 2020 but one book. I only read the one. So my imposter syndrome is heavy in that area. And so I can't talk about it over there. And plus, I feel like I have more friends here than I do over there, so I don't want to talk about it over there because I don't really feel like, I mean, shoot, I might talk about it. But anyways, my point is that I'm feeling a little bit like, hey, that's a good idea for a video over there, but I'm still going to do it here because y'all are my friends. So kind of piggybacking off of imposter syndrome, I'm sort of struggling to decide if I should continue over there because I don't really read critically, and I'm starting to learn how to read critically, but it's sort of taking the enjoyment out of reading, so I'm wondering if I want to continue to try and read critically. I don't know, y'all. Here's my plan. I'm just gonna, my new phrase in life is just roll with it. I'm just gonna roll with it, see what happens, because it's really all I can do. Like, I bought sticky tabs and everything to read this one book, and then I started it and I was like, I can't with this book. It's called House of Leaves. It's a horror book, but it's told like it's a very dense book. And I looked to see if there was an audiobook. There is not. Devastation occurred, and I put it down after like 11 pages of reading it. I put it down. Not indefinite. Like, I'm not putting it away forever. Just had to put it down for my own sanity. So that happened. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm going through mentally, like here and there and all over, just struggling with my imposter syndrome. But I know that a lot of you said that you also experienced that and didn't realize that that's what it was. So it's really comforting to know that I am not alone in this. I mean, not that I thought I was alone in it, but specifically in this community, I was surprised to see how many people said that they experienced the same thing because, you know, we all seem to sort of allow crafts to be a comfort to us, and I didn't realize how many other people in this community specifically that struggled with things like imposter syndrome. So I was really shocked, and I was like not happy to find out that y'all were struggling, but like I was happy to find out I wasn't alone. So that's good for me. I have no idea when I'm gonna be able to go shopping. I know, quick change of the subject here, but I think you can tell this past week I've really been sort of pulling myself out of whatever was happening because I was so chatty in my last Wip Chat. Usually I spend a lot of time not knowing what to say because typically when I go into a Wip Chat, I'm starting a new strategy, as you can tell, but typically before, when I went into a Wip Chat, I had a set list of topics that I wanted to talk about. And I was like, okay, this should be enough. But then because I talk so fast, I sort of went through it really quickly. And I know that I discussed that in my last Wip Chat, but just to recap, in case you did not see that, that's what happened. And these past 2 Wip Chats, I have gone in with absolutely nothing in mind to say. You know, obviously update you on live schedule. I am going live this Saturday, by the way, and then of course bring you any information I have regarding my friends' lives and stuff like that. Any updates obviously need to get discussed, but for the rest of it, I just flow. I just out of my mouth. And it is more conducive to Wip Chat because it is more chat. And I've been really enjoying this format of sort of not coming up with things to say, not coming up with topics, because it is more conducive to a sort of a more intelligent conversation. So I've been really enjoying that. Yeah, so that's good. And then I think that's all I have to update you on as far as my mental health and as far as how I'm dealing with things and as far as how I'm existing. So back to the grocery shopping. So I don't know when I'm gonna go grocery shopping. Like, I really don't know when. We were supposed to go on Wednesday, yesterday, but you know, life with the Wip Chat, with the overnights and stuff. So that happened, and there was nothing I could really do about that because I was not, like, he had already made the commitment to go help his friend, and so, you know, too bad, so sad. No grocery shopping, and I had to go to sleep anyway because I was not about to sort of go grocery shopping and then head into work, because I don't know about y'all, but like when I have to spend money, I start to get stressed. And like when I get to the register, I start to get really stressed out, like sweaty and stressed out and stuff. And oh, that's another thing that I kind of wanted to touch on. I have been buying less diamond paintings. I think part of the reason is because I have not been completing as many. And then I think we could probably get into 2. Well, let's see. How long have I been going? I don't want this to be a forever Wip Chat. I think we can try to get into 2. And if I need to put it up, that's what I'll do. So let me grab my tape and I will bag and tag this one. This one was N. So, oh, I don't have my pen. Crap. It's fine. I will hopefully remember that this was N based on the ones that are already open. Anyways, that's what we're hoping, right? So I haven't been buying as many diamond paintings, and I don't know if you've noticed, but it's this sort of me not finishing diamond paintings, and then I had an issue with a flaw in my paycheck, which was not my fault. It sort of forced me to think more critically about purchasing diamond paintings, and I haven't bought anything since that flaw happened. I have bought literally nothing, like nothing at all. Like, I did buy clothes, but I had a gift card, so it was sort of, I think I had like a $75 gift card, and I think my total was like $100, so I only invested like $20-something. And then the last couple diamond paintings I bought, I had gift cards from friends for my birthday, and then I also had points. So I have not spent any money in the diamond painting world at all in, oh my gosh, since the flaw in my paycheck happened, for sure. Definitely. And what's weird is right before the flaw in my paycheck, well, no, at the beginning of the year, I ordered everlasting tips, and they have not arrived. And I was so worried about my waning in sort of like I was afraid I was getting out of diamond painting for a little while. And clearly I'm not. I'm still enjoying it. I'm just, you know, it was the Chuck's fault. Okay, blame the Chuck. But I was afraid that I was getting out of, you know, the hobby and stuff. And so when I had realized I hadn't received my everlasting tips, I was like, wouldn't it be so funny if the second that I stopped wanting to diamond paint, they arrived? That would be so horrible. But my interests have not changed. I am still interested in diamond painting. I'm still having fun with it. I think that part of the reason my interest was sort of going away was the check, and then the other part was probably my paycheck. My problem with my paycheck. So I have been thinking more critically and making more rational decisions with my money as far as that goes, because I haven't had any money, so I haven't been buying anything. I did wind up getting using points to pick up Miss Havisham. And I also got, nope, that's it. That's all I got in the diamond painting world lately. I do have some pens I need to get. I'm excited about that because my paycheck has sort of, you know, they can't apply it to, you know what, I might as well just tell you. Well, you know, I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. I don't feel like it's anybody's business. So, sorry, love you, but I'm not going to tell you. So, anyway, yep. Basically, with, I can't even remember what I was saying. Anyways, I have a couple pens that I want to pick up from my friend Elizabeth. And I also have, I need a Bella Art de Nicole Max tray. So I'm happy that I'm sort of finally catching up from the problem. And yes, super excited about that. And I think that what I learned these past few months while I was busy having those problems, what I learned is that I can think more critically and I don't need everything. So I will still have unboxings, don't you worry. I still have paintings that I haven't unboxed that I already have at the house. So unboxings are not going anywhere, but when I unbox something on the channel going forward, it's not going to be because I felt, and that's another thing that contributes to the imposter syndrome, because I wasn't buying anything. So I was like, I'm not really even a YouTuber, I'm not unboxing anything. But the reality of the situation is I still have unboxings, and just because I'm not buying something doesn't mean I'm not a YouTuber. Plenty of people go on buying bands. My wonderful friend Ureli, she set a goal for herself to only buy one a month. Like, she's still a YouTuber. Like, I don't know what my problem is. I'm just like, you know, I need help, but that's beside the point. We don't have time to get into all of that. But basically, when I unbox something on my channel, it's not like, okay, so the thing is that when you're a YouTuber, when you're a content creator, there's a certain expectation that you place on yourself, and your audience sort of, without realizing it, places on you as well. And your job is then now to sort of review products. And that's fine. And I knew what I was getting into when I, you know, became a content creator, signed up for this, you know, etc., etc. I knew what I was getting into. But the thing is that when you come to my channel, and I pose this question to you, and I pose this question to anybody who's watching. When you come to my channel, do you come to my channel because you want my honest opinion on a product, and you want to know what I genuinely think about a product? Or do you come to my channel because you want to see like 100,000 unboxings? And I think that I know the answer is because you come to my channel to see my opinion on a product. And I think that going forward, I will continue to think more critically and not place that stress on myself to constantly be buying things from all these companies that are popping up and getting something from every single release. I don't know if anyone noticed, but I basically haven't got anything lately from anyone unless I needed it. You know what I mean? And all those things have been bought with gift cards. So I was sort of able to recover financially from the problem, and, you know, sort of, you know, I see a lot of YouTubers who say that all money that they make from, you know, YouTube goes right back into the channel, and anything you want them to review, they do, and that's fine, and that's great, and that's wonderful, and that's what I thought I wanted to do. But I think what I want to do is really be selective. And I think that for a lot of us in this community, we have a habit of buy. You buy it because you saw somebody else buy it. You buy it because you want it because somebody else had it. But do you really want it? But do you really want it? Now stop and think, did you really want it? And I think that 2 or 3 months ago, I would have been like, yes, I need it. But the reality of the situation is that I think a lot of us just buy to buy. And I think a lot of us buy with the expectation of, you know, sort of fulfilling something. Like, I saw it on this person's channel. I saw my friend had it, so I want it. I saw this and I needed it because I wanted to keep up and I wanted to fit in and I wanted to, you know, avoid fear of missing out or FOMO. And the logical part of my brain says that FOMO is only a feeling. It's not like I'm not really missing anything. Like if I really needed it, it would be there, you know. And if it is limited edition, that puts a little bit different of a strain on you and you're worried about it selling out. But for the most part, most of the things that get released come back. So I sort of stopped looking at it like I needed it because my friend had it. I needed it because I needed to get the newest item in the community so that I could, you know, review it so that people would see how I felt about the product. And like really the reality of the situation is I have more diamond paintings that I will ever be able to complete in this year. I have enough trays. I have enough pens. I'm still going to buy these things because they bring me joy, but longevity speaking, I think that trays and like tools of diamond painting are a little bit different than buying diamond paintings. Because when you're buying 100,000 diamond paintings, like I have been, you look in, like for example, my closet is overflowing. Like I literally have diamond paintings on my floor waiting to be put into the closet, but they don't fit. That's not right. Like that I need to, not you. I need to get to a point where my hobby is sort of contained, because I think we had a little bit of a realization this past year that buying diamond paintings is a different hobby, completely different than actually completing them. And I think that my hobby towards the middle and end of last year was more buying rather than completing. And then especially now that I haven't been completing anything lately, my hobby has been more buying. And now that I've, you know, had that problem and I've had to stop and reflect and take a step back and really think about critically what's happening and what I'm spending my money on, and think more critically about everything that I'm buying, I've come to the realization that buying diamond paintings, if I buy one diamond painting a week but I complete one diamond painting a month, I'm taking in 3 times more than I'm actually completing. And you know, if there's ever a diamond painting shortage, I'm covered. But like, is there going to be a diamond painting shortage? Are we going to run out of diamond? Are companies going to stop making diamond paintings? I mean, think about it. Like, if I buy one diamond painting a week and I'm only doing one, in theory, one a month, I mean, in theory, I have enough. I've bought enough diamond paintings that month to cover me for 3 additional more years, right? But what if I buy 2 diamond paintings a month? Or 2 diamond paintings a week? You know? What if I buy 2 diamond paintings a week, then in that particular week, I have covered myself for 2 months. Then the next week, I buy 2 more diamond paintings, but I only complete 1 diamond painting that month. Now, I have 4 months worth of diamond paintings, and I've only completed, or I can only do 1, you know? And I need to buy them at the rate that I complete them rather than buy them at the rate that they come out. You know what I mean? So I think that I've learned a lot this past few weeks with that. I'm still gonna buy diamond paintings, like I'm definitely gonna keep buying diamond paintings, but I'm going to be more selective, and I think that that's important too. I think that a lot of people who are in this hobby go through a phase where they're just buying everything that they like. And the reality of the situation is buying everything you like, if you can afford to do it, is fantastic. But what we need to focus on is buying the images that we love. Because if you like an image, yeah, sure, you can finish it. But are you going to finish it? And if you do finish it, when are you going to do it, you know? I have certain diamond paintings that are in my stash that I am so excited to do. And then I have some diamond paintings in my stash and I'm kind of like, wow. I, for the life of me, cannot figure out why I purchased that. Like, I feel like I liked it, but, you know, like I said last week, my interest is wax and wane and ebb and flow. And so my enjoyment of a particular picture this week, you know, might not be the same as next week. And like, if I love an image, that love doesn't go anywhere. But if I like an image, it does. And I have like 3 off the top of my head that I can think of that I'm kind of like, why did I buy that? For one, Marine Life. I loved it when I got it. Absolutely, well, I liked it when I got it, but I was never in love with it. And I feel like the fact that I wasn't in love with it, and I was only sort of in like with it, I fell out of like with it. And now it is discontinued, so I feel like if I needed to sort of destash, that would be a good one to go, because I feel like I don't ever want to sell, like I would like to get what I paid for it. You know what I mean? Or even less. But because it's discontinued, I feel like people would be more willing to pay, you know, what I paid for it. And like, I haven't decided to destash it, but I have been thinking about destashing in general, just because so much of my stash is not going to be completed, especially with me getting back into reading, you know? I'm like, of course I can pick up an audiobook in Diamond Paint, and like that's what I've been trying to do, but it's a little bit harder because of my schedule lately, you know? And then there's some images that like I think about all the time. Like I think about all of the time, and like I just genuinely cannot wait to get to them. And so in my head, logically, I'm prioritizing the ones that I'm like, oh my god, I cannot wait to get to that one. And so the ones that I was in like with instead of in love with have fallen back to the wayside. So anyways, all this to say, I'm thinking more critically when I'm buying. Diamond painting unboxings are not going anywhere. They're just going to be sort of when I love something, because I don't think that anyone, and like I mean this for the big creators too, who sort of feel it's their job, and it is to a certain extent, to buy products to review and stuff like that. It's sort of their job, but they've also made it their job. I don't think anyone should be forced to buy an image that they're not in love with. And I feel like that's kind of what it is. It's you're forcing yourself to buy something you're not in love with. And like, let's see, let me think of one instance that I bought something that I wasn't in love with just to sort of review the product. Crystal Canvas Art. I can link that unboxing in the eye and in the description box if need be. But I bought that and I liked it. I didn't love it. And I'll tell you why I bought it. I bought it because I wanted to try Crystal Canvas Art and I wanted to review it on my channel, but I didn't love that image. So it's sitting there. It's just sitting there. And I don't know when I'm gonna do it. Another time I bought something just to review the product and not because I liked it, like the image, was when I got the most recent round of Dreamer Designs. They released, oh goodness, Mary Poppins and the Season's Greeting. I liked both of those. I did not love either one. And so now they're sitting in my closet and I'm like, I really want to do it, but I would rather do X, Y, and Z because I'm in love with those. Like, I like them, but I felt the pressure to buy from Dreamer Designs because to review it, you know what I mean? And then like I have sort of a history with Dreamer Designs. Oh no, it's gonna cut me off. Let me cut it off first. So I sort of have a history with Dreamer Designs, with them not being my favorite company. But I'm sort of realizing that there's worse out there. So I'm sort of having to reevaluate my opinion on them, but that's besides the point. But those are some instances where I bought products because I felt the pressure to buy them and review them on my channel rather than actually being in love with the image. And like, I do like them, so I'm not trying to tell you that I don't like them. And I'm definitely gonna do them, like especially the Season's Greeting one. I cannot wait to do that one. I just want to do other ones first. And then I can think of some times when I bought something that I absolutely needed. I needed it so bad. And those are the images that I'm going to prioritize. Like, for example, the, oh my god, what's it called? I can't remember. The Masquerade, Valentine Masquerade. I needed that one so bad. And now it's going to have to sit there because I can't do it right now, but I'm going to. I'm so gonna do that one. I gotta go to Harbor Freight anyway at some point, and when I do go to Harbor Freight, I'm gonna pick up a couple for myself, and so, yep. I gotta pick up a couple for Bev so I can send that to her eventually when all of the stuff that she's buying comes into my house. Yeah, so there's that. I'm worried about a bunch of stuff like just sitting there forever, so I'm wondering if I should do a diamond painting de-stash and unhaul. I don't know. I know that like a lot of people would eat that up too, but I don't also want to worry about shipping. Like, I'm terrified of shipping costs right now. So I think that I should probably wait a bit until if I end up going to do a de-stash, I definitely want to wait until I'm first and foremost more confident in going out of my house, because I'm gonna need to bring a trolley when I go to de-stash stuff, you know. But I don't know. Anyways, I feel like I've ranted and raved. Well, I didn't really rant all that much, did I? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. Did I rant? Did I rave? Yeah, long story short, I am gonna end it here. Let me know in the comments down below, what are you up to? What are you working on? Do you think I should evaluate my stash? And what do you think about my opinion on going forward with buying just to buy versus buying because I love it? I did finish that color. So cool. So I feel like I'm over halfway done now. Let me pull this out from underneath the camera so I can show you. The trees right here don't get drilled, so the last part of this that I'm going to drill is sort of everything from here up. So I feel like I'm about halfway now, I believe. What do you think? I feel like I could probably do, I don't want to force myself to diamond paint because I do have other things I need to get done today because I haven't been doing anything at all because of work and stuff. So I am going to bag and tag this one. Yeah, so let me know what you think about what I said. Like, did any of it make sense to you? Or was I just kind of like, for lack of a better word, spewing? Like, was what I said making sense? Did any of it resonate with you? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the consumerism that is sort of diamond painting? And I'm like, you know, that's a bigger conversation in general, consumerism in general. But basically, I'm wondering how you feel. Like, are you going to, have you been buying because you like it? Have you been buying because you love it? Or have you been thinking more critically all along? And I'm just now slowly catching up. Anyways, let me know all of the things down in the comments down below. I'm trying to keep this piece nice because I don't want to mess it up for a couple reasons. One of them being that I like to convert double-sided adhesive to poured glue, and I like clear covers. So I'm trying to keep this nice because I like to try, if I'm doing a partial, I would like to try and keep the clear cover nice because, you know, reasons. But I wanted to, usually what I end up doing is sort of, you like how I keep trying to leave and then I don't leave? What I usually try and do with this is put release papers on top of it, but because, like, and then just work one release paper at a time. But because this is an ombre thing where you're going basically across and you're just filling in one color at a time, at least that's what I'm doing, I just didn't feel like it was a good idea to do that. I felt like it was better to keep the clear cover on and just be careful with it and keep it all in one piece and be kind to it so that I could use it again for a conversion. So that is it for today's video. I gotta sort of separate them and make sure that I'm not going to be messing this up. I know that 2 is the one I just did and it's the lighter color. So this is 2, this is N, and this is 7. So anyways, that is it for today's video. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you like me and would like to see more from me, please hit subscribe. I would be so happy to have you around. I hope that you are being safe, wash your hands, taking care of yourselves,